working-class adolescent conception of the literary landscape. Part of that conception was that you could teach craft, you could teach structure, you could teach theme, you could teach a certain facility and nuance with language, but you couldn't teach voice, and you couldn't teach experience, and few would argue that Kerouac was short on either of those. Kerouac wasn't at Iowa workshopping stories in a classroom under the tutelage of Lowell or Berryman. He was out satisfying his ravenous appetite for the world, drinking and drugging his way across America, joining the merchant marines, trying anything and everything once, living fiercely through days of grace and dark nights of the soul, embracing all of them, soaking up every sensation or thought he could apprehend, burning through the realm of experience and leaving a scorched path in his wake, and then, only then, bringing that experience to life on the page. That, to me, was the dream, not only to write, but to live like a writer, and Kerouac showed me the way. Nearly 4 decades removed from my deep dive into Jack Kerouac, what still informs and excites me is that indelible pulse of the man, so palpable on the page, the urgent abandon with which he lived. Introduction. Paul Mayer, Jr. What lies in store for the reader from this vast and varied collection of papers hoarded by Jack Kerouac through his fast, furious life? With the gracious opportunity to compile a collection of his unpublished scrivenings at the behest of Jim Sampas and Sylvia Cunha, my hope is to show Kerouac's creative fervency from the fledgling 18-year-old writer in the summer of 1940 until his lean, mature years as a seasoned but very beat writer. So what does this book contain that we haven't already read? We already know of his sea journeys, road trips, and stints as a down-and-out Dharma bum, sitting cross-legged, staring down eternity from a mountain lookout, or brooding miserably in a ramshackle seaside cabin nestled within the sea-booming hollow gourd of old Big Sur. But there is so much more. This isn't a collection of outcast writings and neglected fragments. It's a mind meld with Jack Kerouac as man and writer. Jack would have made this distinction. A confessional tell-all bearing an impossible-to-ignore determined soul. Lower the proverbial bucket into the dark depths of a well and bring each pail up, slopping with Kerouacian indulgences. It's a literary banquet we can feast upon over 100 years after his birth, and it is sometimes more than we can bear to read these secret naked doodlings that Kerouac spoke of in his superb improvisational voiceover for Robert Frank's short film Pull My Daisy, 1959. There are these: Kerouac plumbing the psychological depths of his psyche after his medical discharge from the United States Navy, having been diagnosed as schizophrenic, the term at the time being dementia praecox. The doctor's reports labeled him as abnormal, apathetic, and unfit for service. He is invested in all the permutations of the creative act. He takes any occasion to see what he can write, feel it out, and leave it on the page the way that he found it. Visions, daydreams, night dreams, notes, and sketches, poetry or prose. In between, the distinction is blurred. We do not have to take the time to figure out what it is. We only must read it through and let it set into our minds and souls like a chill into the loam. Permit it to take root, and what a flower it grows once it works its way through the stony soil of our initial resistance. Through each, we can sense where Jack's heart is and feel its vibratory shiver possessing him to commit it to paper as a gift to the universe. Kerouac reports his thoughts after ingesting narcotics. In both, his mood is revelatory as he wields open-hearted conclusions about what his mind has revealed once he relinquishes control, lets down his guard, and follows his thoughts wherever